Welcome back. It's our State of the 49ers series. We're moving position group through position group, and now it's time for the offensive line. Summary for the season. They improved. It was better in pass protection this year for the 49ers than in previous seasons under Kyle Shanahan, but it was not enough for true sustainable championship contention, and that's what I'm going to spend this video describing. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going through 49ers stuff in depth this entire offseason into 22 and beyond. So make sure you subscribe, hit the notification button, do all that so you're ready for all these breakdowns. We've already gone through the quarterbacks. We've gone through the running backs. The receiver room paired with the tight ends was interesting. But to me, the offensive line is what makes this all tick. And it's all the more important for the 49ers moving forward because they're very likely to have a second-year inexperienced quarterback in Trey Lance who will only be 22 years old in the 2022 season. There is nothing more toxic or worse than pairing an inexperienced quarterback with poor pass protection. With Jimmy Garoppolo, he had a quick release. He was able to make something out of nothing in situations. Obviously, the mobility was limited, so he really couldn't break out of other poor situations caused by the 49ers offensive line and some suspect pass protection, especially down the stretch in the playoffs. With Trey Lance, you'll have some legs, right? You'll have the ability to run. You'll have the ability to move outside the pocket. But if pressure gets up that A-gap very quickly, or if it gets on Trey Lance past his blind side or even past right tackle right into his face, it's going to disrupt stuff, namely his development. And that's something that the 49ers absolutely cannot afford. So they have to invest in this front. They have to look at what worked in 2021, make sure they perpetuate that moving forward. And they also have to make sure that they fix the problems that have dogged them over the past several seasons. Plus performers for the 49ers, Trent Williams, Laken Tomlinson, and Alex Mack. And I have a chart right here that I could pull up. This is from the Athletic article that I'm going to put in the comment section. And it's going to be pinned right up at the top, that I wrote this week with Matt Barrows to evaluate the 49ers offensive line. You have pass blocking efficiency in this first column, and you have run block grade in the second column at the right. Blue is good, red is bad. Red means below the league median, blue means above the league median. You can see that the 49ers had 3+ performers in both pass blocking and run blocking. Trent Williams at left tackle, Laken Tomlinson at left guard, and Alex Mack at center. It got worse when you got to the reserves. Colton McKivitz at left tackle, Jalen Moore at left tackle, and the red, both of those guys, youngsters. Daniel Brunskill at right guard was the starter and the weakness on the starting five of this offensive line. And then obviously you had Tom Compton filling in for Mike McGlinchey after McGlinchey tore his quad. So the plus performers, Williams, Tomlinson, Mack. Moving forward, you have Williams for sure. Tomlinson's an unrestricted free agent coming in March. Do you re-sign him if you're the 49ers? And Alex Mack is going to be 37 next year, so there's a chance that he might retire. He's still contemplating what to do. So I think it's really important for the 49ers to get all three of those players back. If not, you better find replacements for all three. Otherwise, you start leaking oil at spots that were strong. And there are obviously spots that had problems on this offensive line if you take a look at that chart. So to me, Aaron Banks remains a hinge point for the 49ers moving forward. The second-round draft pick out of Notre Dame only played 5 garbage time snaps against Jacksonville this year. I get it. There's frustration regarding his development from outsiders, and I think without confirmation, but you have to read between the lines, read the tea leaves here, I would think that the 49ers wanted something out of Aaron Banks this season. They did use a second-round pick on him in a win-now season after all, and they only got those 5 garbage time snaps against Jacksonville. I mean, just take a look at what's going on right here if you look at the 49ers offensive line. The weakness was obviously Brunskill at right guard. He's in the red in both pass blocking and run blocking. I like Daniel Brunskill as a player. I think that Daniel Brunskill was instrumental toward the 49ers 2019 Super Bowl run because he was a utility offensive lineman. Former tight end at San Diego State, so he's on the lighter side, has good mobility. He filled in at both left tackle and right tackle before filling in at right guard for the 49ers in 2019. Well, if Aaron Banks had been able to crack the starting lineup this year, you could see where exactly it could have slotted in at that right guard spot to improve the weakest link of the 49ers starting 5 on the O-line. But Banks, for whatever reason, I think he needed to lose some weight. He needed to develop athleticism and physicality that would translate to the NFL level. So perhaps it took a little bit longer than the 49ers expected. So for whatever of those reasons, he was on the bench. 49ers had to start Brunskill. Because they had to start Brunskill, when McGlinchey got hurt at right tackle, they had to move to Tom Compton, who ended up being a great run blocker, but was very lacking in pass protection. So you could see how that domino effect hurt the 49ers, especially in the NFC Championship game when Trent Williams had a high ankle sprain. He tried to play through it, but he had allowed 5 pressures against the Rams. Now think if the 49ers actually had Banks delivering for them. Banks would have been at right guard. Compton would have been at right tackle. And then potentially you would have had Daniel Brunskill at left tackle, and it probably would have been better than having to play an injured Trent Williams or Colton McKivitz, who was the other option who gave up 6 pressures in place of Trent Williams in Week 18. It probably would have been a better solution at left tackle, which leads me to my 70. Yeah, every team wishes they could have 70 quality offensive linemen, but it's the 7 quality offensive lineman theory. Banks, Jalen Moore, and Tom Compton all fit into this calculus. I believe that for a team to be a legitimate Super Bowl contender, it must have at least 7 quality offensive linemen. Not starting caliber offensive linemen, but 7 quality pieces. For example, like the 49ers of 2019 did. Ben Garland was a quality offensive lineman, filled in for Weston Richburg at center. Obviously, Daniel Brunskill was a quality utility offensive lineman, filled in for both tackles and filled in at right guard for Mike Person. If you don't have 7 in this day and age, you're not going to withstand the rigors of a 17-game regular season and then the postseason. I mean, the 49ers tied a franchise record this year with 20 games. They set an NFL record this year with 12 road games. To survive that type of marathon, that type of beating, you need bodies up front, and you need a lot of them. You need at least 7. And I don't think the 49ers quite had 7 this past season, because it's hard for me to put Jalen Moore in the quality O-lineman box from the 49ers. You know, they tried to start him at right tackle in place of McGlinchey, but they gave up on him really quick. You could put Tom Compton there, but, you know, maybe half of a quality lineman. He's a great run blocker. The pass blocking still left something to be desired. You still remember that disastrous play in Seattle where Carlos Dunlap just steamrolled Tom Compton, safety against Jimmy Garoppolo. Wasn't Garoppolo's fault, obviously. That's Tom Compton just getting beat clean by Carlos Dunlap. So you need replacement level pass protection to be able to operate consistently in this league. And once the 49ers lost McGlinchey at right tackle, they didn't really have replacement level pass protection over on the right side. And then obviously Banks didn't count into that 7 quality offensive lineman formula. So maybe the 49ers had 5.5. Maybe they had 6 quality linemen. I know they liked what they got from Colton McKivitz against the Rams, but the chart also doesn't lie. Look down here at the chart. 91.4 pass blocking efficiency, which would have been the worst in the league amongst qualifying tackles, and the run block rate was also terrible. So, I mean, he did just enough to fill in Week 18, but it wasn't a sustainable performance. So, again, you need 7, at the very least 6 of these guys, quality O-linemen. I'll stay with 7 to be able to make a sustainable championship run. And, you know, that's huge for Trey Lance. It was vital for Patrick Mahomes when he got roughed up in the Super Bowl against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Injured offensive line, both starting tackles out. Even Mahomes looks terrible. You saw Joe Burrow not be able to get the job done against the Rams. His season ended in spectacularly similar fashion to Jimmy Garoppolo's season against Aaron Donald, because the 49ers couldn't block an elite interior defensive lineman. And guess what? Aaron Donald's not going anywhere, right? I mean, it looks like Aaron Donald's going to be back next year. Those retirement rumors didn't end up coming true, even though the Rams won the Super Bowl. So you better find a way to deliver up front. For that reason, the 49ers need to get better up front. There is a mistaken theory that, just because the quarterback might be more mobile next season, the O-line won't be as important. And I'll tell you right now, that is a casual fan theory. It is not rooted in football reality. If anything, since the 49ers will have a younger quarterback, they're going to need a better offensive line. That 7 O-lineman theory is going to come in. Mike McGlinchey is a big question for the 49ers, because he's going to be playing on his 5th-year option in this 2022 season if he does indeed come back from the torn quad. And what McGlinchey are the 49ers going to get? Because, again, take a look right now down here at what McGlinchey they got last year. Pass blocking efficiency is in the blue. He was above average in pass blocking efficiency through week 9 when he tore his quad. But interestingly, the run blocking grade for McGlinchey worsened. He had always been an elite run blocker, and the pass blocking up until this 2021 season had been sketchy for Mike McGlinchey. So what did he do? He put on 25 pounds in the offseason. He got bulkier. He was able to anchor against those bull rushes. It translated into McGlinchey being a plus pass protector for the first time in his NFL career. Now, what happened to the run blocking? I'm not sure. That degraded a little bit, right? You watch the tape, maybe a little extra bulk on Mike McGlinchey hurt his movement in space. To me, it's a trade-off the 49ers. I think pass protection is more important in the NFL. I know the 49ers have valued run blocking, and that's how Tom Compton was able to do a replacement level job, is because the run blocking outweighed the deficiencies in pass protection. But when the money's on the table, as it was for the 49ers against the Rams in pass obvious situations, same thing against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, pass obvious situations late in the game. Same thing for the Chiefs against the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl. Same thing for the Bengals against the Rams in this Super Bowl. When the money's on the table, you have to be able to pass protect. And that was promising for Mike McGlinchey because he became a plus pass protector this season. Now, the problem is that a torn quad is no small deal. So, A, can he come back from the torn quad? B, can he continue to pass protect at an above average level if and when he does come back from the torn quad? And C, in Shanahan's system, run blocking is important. So can McGlinchey improve that run blocking score, which seemed to slide over the first half of the 2021 season before he was hurt? So McGlinchey, that's a big question mark for me at that position. Do the 49ers re-sign Laken Tomlinson at left guard? Well, again, if you look at the chart here, Tomlinson's a plus performer at left guard. And more than anything, he's durable. For the 49ers, 1,264 snaps this season. He played every single one of them on offense. And he's played every single one of them on offense since the 49ers traded for him in 2017, except for when his shoe came untied. So on a team that has a lot of health issues, I think durability should be valued. And Laken Tomlinson's absolutely a guy that the 49ers need to retain. That's my opinion. Maybe they won't, but if they don't, you're starting to leak oil at left guard, and you better find a durable and good replacement for this guy, because otherwise you're trying to fill holes at right guard, potentially right tackle, potentially center. Trent Williams isn't getting any younger at left tackle. I mean, Tomlinson is a nice plug there for the 49ers at that left guard spot. Now, how do his scores, 97.2 in pass blocking efficiency and 75.3 in run block rate, how do they compare to other guards? Well, if you aggregate them and look at his total guard score on PFF, Tomlinson is around 10 to 15 of guards in all football. So that's including left guards and right guards. So, you cut that in half for left guard, right? So he's between 5 and 10 at his position rank. And the top guard in the league is making $16 million a year right now. Guards around Tomlinson's caliber are making $8 to $10 million a year. So the question is, are the 49ers willing to pay Tomlinson $8 to $10 million a year? They may not be, because Shanahan in the past has not been all too excited about, investing big time capital into guards. Now, that may have changed this past offseason, the prior one, when he used a second round pick on Aaron Banks. So maybe there's a higher value on making sure pressure up the A-gap doesn't terrorize Kyle Shanahan's quarterbacks. And I think there should be value on that, because I think that interior pressure has detonated 49ers seasons more often than it hasn't. So I think that it's key, even if Shanahan doesn't value guard as much as tackle, I think it's key to look at the dynamics of this line to see that there may be some attrition, some loss of performance elsewhere, and to realize that left guard is absolutely a position where you literally must hold the line. Hold the line. Stay with me, from Gladiator. That's Maximus. You have to hold the line at left guard. So that's why I would advocate that the 49ers do spend some money to re-sign Laken Tomlinson, or at the very least, find a replacement that could do the same job. And I could tell you what, that won't be easy. But at the end of the day, Trey Lance needs good pass protection, period. Don't, believe. I mean, people will try to sell you snake oil and say that the mobile quarterback doesn't need good pass protection. That is a lie. That is a telltale red flag that somebody does not know the game of football. The QB does need good pass protection no matter how fast he is. In fact, if he gets good pass pro and he could sit there in the pocket, that's when the running lanes actually open up within the structure of the offense. So it's imperative that the 49ers get that done. And, you look at this group of offensive linemen. Williams will be back next year. McKivitz, if they want him, he'll be back next year. Maybe that performance on short notice against the Rams in Week 18 impressed the 49ers, but I wouldn't count on McKivitz to do too much given those scores. More on a rookie deal. Tomlinson, big question mark. Mack, let's see if he retires or not. Brunskill, he's going to be a restricted free agent. I think if you could bring Brunskill back at a reasonable tender price, which should be possible, and Banks actually does his job. Remember, Aaron Banks remains a huge hinge point moving forward. Brunskill moves into that utility role. As a utility O-lineman, Brunskill is one of your 7 quality O-linemen. I am certain of that. I don't like him at a starting right guard position, but I like him as a utility tackle, potential utility guard, potential utility center. You get up to 7, maybe Compton is a guy you bring back because Compton showed that he had value this year, right? Played the best football of his career. He's not a starting caliber guy, but he showed that he had value, and you hope that McGlinchey comes back from the right tackle spot. So I know a ton of questions for the 49ers on this offensive line. It's a season that's an offseason that's going to be critical for this football team. And if some of these variables go south, it's not going to be good for the San Francisco 49ers because Trey Lance needs that good pass protection if he is going to be the starter in 2021. Hell, even if it's 2022, even if it's Tom Brady, he's going to be 45. He's going to need good pass protection. So pass protection matters. That was verified again by how the 49ers lost the NFC Championship game. They couldn't protect for Jimmy Garoppolo down the stretch. He wasn't able to get it done. The Bengals couldn't protect for Joe Burrow down the stretch. He wasn't able to get it done. If you want to win a championship in this league, you better be able to succeed in pass pro. So the 49ers, while they may have improved in 2021, they're not there yet. The journey continues. Remember the night where they agreed to terms with both Trent Williams and Alex Mack last March. I don't know if they need that big of a night again this offseason, but they're going to have to make a few more splashes and a few more shrewd moves if they're going to keep this train rolling, if they're going to give Trey Lance a chance to play for the Super Bowl. All right, everybody subscribe to the channel. You might notice the new camera quality. We're making investments in the channel. I love the depth of field right now, so that's all fun. But anyway, click that subscribe button, click the notify button. More coming, including another video breaking down some film on Trey Lance coming soon. So hit the button. Everybody have a good weekend. Take care.